In today's episode, we're going back to 1981 and the Toyota Starlet. Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel here on YouTube, looking at car brochures from around the world. Welcome to new and old viewers alike. Anyway, back to today's episode. Yes, we're looking at this Toyota 1981 brochure. I think we'll do it as a bit of a series, starting with the first car, which of course is going to be the Toyota Starlet. Now, there isn't massive of information as this is a full range brochure, so it's not going to be a huge episode, but we try and mix shorter episodes with larger episodes to please everyone. So let's throw it on the board and have a look at the 1981 Toyota Starlet. Firstly, let's have a look at the brochure, which is in remarkably good condition. It's as if it's just been lifted from the Toyota dealership in the 80s. There isn't even any creases on the corners, which is quite incredible. Quite simply saying Toyota car range 1981 and 1981 repeated. No picture of a car on the front, which again is quite unusual for a car brochure, but these sort of digits really remind me of the 80s somehow. Or, even if it didn't say 1981 on here, it just said 19 or something, you still say it's a 1980s car brochure. Something about that typescript, isn't there? Anyway, let's move to the first page. And like I say, today's episode is the Toyota Starlet, and this is where the brochure starts, telling us there's 3 models in this UK lineup at the time: the 1.2S, the 1.2 GL, and the 1 litre GL. We'll certainly go from some of these specs in a moment, and of course the text as well. But the Toyota Starlet, so actually by this time it would have been a second generation model, sometimes known as a P60. The 60 series introduced in February 1978. Certainly better known than the first series, being that this is the first Starlet extensively sold outside of Japan. It was actually particularly well received in Europe and of course the United Kingdom, which is what these cars are selling here, because at this time these sort of hatchback style super minis were certainly soaring in popularity. However, these are the later models. These would have been the facelifted Starlet, which arrived in 1980, where it got these square headlights. Previously to that, it was first introduced a second series with round headlights, but they're certainly quite rare to see now. I always quite like them. I do actually remember them. I think, like a lot of I'm going to say Japanese cars at this time, but many cars at this time, sort of late 70s, early 80s, certainly suffered a bit from rust. There's no doubt about that, so I'm sure most of them have sadly gone now, because I think they were a great little car. What we'll do though, we'll have a look at the top here where it's kind of like introducing the car, and before we get to the specifications we'll cast our eye over these images and then we'll come back to the specifications proper. Okay, so it kind of introduces this model by telling you space, comfort, economy and reliability. You can't fail to like the new Starlet, and certainly things like reliability, I think Toyota was starting to get a bit of a name for its reliability, so I'm sure that attracted a lot of customers. It goes on to tell us it gives you all those things you really want in a small hatchback. Designed for today's motorists, there are 3 models to choose from: Starlet 1 litre GL, 3-door, the 1.2 GL 5-door, and the 1.2S 3-door. In all 3 models, the seats are marvellously comfortable and attractive in check cloth trim. The front seats are also adjustable and fully reclining, with detachable head restraints. You'll be surprised at the Starlet's spaciousness. It will take 4 adults with space to spare, and for the safety of the younger members of the family, there are child-proof locks on the 5-door model. So nice to see at this time that this small hatchback is actually offering a 5-door model. It goes on to tell us a large area of tinted glass increases the feeling of space, and with plenty of leg and shoulder room you can really stretch out. And maybe that's pushing it a little bit. It has many typical Toyota features. A see at a glance dash, easy to read gauges, clock, push button radio, cigarette lighter and bi-level heater. There is also a demisting facility for the side windows. Outside, the Starlet has its own distinctive style, with sports wheels, matte black bumper, all-round protected side moulding, door mirror and lockable petrol cap. The hatchback door reveals an impressive 21.2 cubic feet of luggage space, and with both rear seats up, there's still plenty of room for bags and shopping. Rack and pinion steering gives positive response, and you'll find the Starlet not only gives a smooth ride, but can cope with heavy loads, thanks to McPherson strut front suspension and gas-filled shock absorbers at the rear. To take the strain out of high speed driving, the Starlet 1.2 GL and 1.2 S have 5-speed gearboxes. So again, nice to see a 5-speed gearbox on this little car. Certainly at the beginning of the 80s, 5-speed gearbox did become more and more popular in the UK. The Starlet has built to the highest possible safety standards with thorough rust proofing and soundproofing, all-round versatility and Toyota's famous reliability guaranteed. That's the quality Starlet, a small car designed for comfort and style, a car designed to meet the family's daily needs. And then we're going to move down to the images, and actually it's not a bad little dashboard actually for a small car of its time. It's not really a sea of one colour. It's got this little bit of a brighter insert to brighten things up. We've got a clock in there, a radio, 5-speed gearbox. This one's even showing a rev counter. I'm sure this is a higher specs model, but all the same, very well, nicely equipped. A very Toyota-esque steering wheel with these separate little buttons for the horns. And then this most unusual centre cap. As you see, we get a little bit of a glove box, but also this little extra sort of little parcel shelf underneath, which I'm sure was very handy. And actually, these seats do look quite attractive for what they were. So I'm going to move back to the specifications now before we have a look at that main image. Starting by telling us the base model, the 1 litre GL with a 993cc 4-cylinder OHV water-cooled engine, delivering 47 bhp at 5800 rpm. Maximum torque 48 pound-foot at 3800 rpm. Transmission, in the case of the 1 litre, it is a 4-speed box. Maximum speed 87 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in quite a pedestrian 18.1 seconds. Fuel consumption for the 1 litre, urban cycle we're getting 36.3 mpg, constant 56 we're getting 48.3 mpg, and a constant 75 we're getting a 34.6. So I think that shows you at a constant 75 the engine was getting quite pushed quite hard, but certainly it was the car to get for economy at the time. Moving up to the 1.2 GL and 1.2 S, both sharing the same 1200cc engine or 1166cc 4-cylinder OHV water-cooled, now developing 56 bhp at 6000 rpm. 62 pound-foot of torque at 3800 rpm. We've now got a manual 5-speed, so for that alone I think it's worth moving up to the 1.2 surely. The maximum speed now jumps up to 92.4 miles per hour. 0 to 60 time is hugely improved now to 13.6 seconds. Fuel economy really doesn't suffer too much. We don't do quite as well on the urban cycle, doing 33.3 miles per gallon. At a constant 56, our MPG does increase to 49.5 miles per gallon, and at a constant 75 we're certainly doing better again at 35.3 mpg. I'm sure the larger engine and more importantly that fifth gear really helped in that case. So equipment levels, we get tinted glass, we get reclining front seats, separate folding rear seats, push button LW/MW radio, 2-speed wipers with intermittent wipe, rear screen washer wiper, heated rear window, reversing lights, locking petrol cap, front passenger seat walking device, 3-door only, and a rear fog lamp. So I guess because the lowest models are GL, the spec levels do seem quite high. So the main image is actually the 3 models. Let's just move to the back shot there. And I've really had to move in quite a long way to get any sort of image of the one at the back. It's the most basic one, of course, they're hiding the basic one. That is the 1 litre GL, which just came as a 3-door. Next one up is the 5-door model. So this is going to be the 1.2 GL. Overall, I really like the styling of it. I do like that sort of design language for a lot of Japanese cars at the time. That front end, very much similar to what Honda was doing with their front ends at the time, and even things like the Triumph Acclaim, of course. But I do actually quite like that sort of design language. Unusual number plate, isn't it? FYY4W. I wonder if that's a real plate. If it is, very unusual. The one right at the back was actually FYY5W, but it was really impossible to see on camera. And the one at the front here, FYY1W. No idea what happened to 2W and 3W, but there we go. The one the most proud of must be the 1W, surely. We can see we've got a little bit of a red line on the front there. Of course, in this case, it doesn't indicate it's any sort of anything faster than your GL version, but I guess S is trying to stand for sport, I would presume, in this case, even though it's not really a faster model. We also look like we've got some kind of like body side tape stripe, quite a big tape stripe going down the side. And again, this one only available as the 3-door model. And that actually is all this brochure has on offer for the little Starlet. So next week we'll be looking at the Corolla. Corolla was a big range at the time and quite a confusing range, to be fair. So next week's episode is certainly going to be longer. We get things like saloons, we get liftbacks, we get estates. What else do we get? Oh, we also get a coupe. But anyway, we'll wrap this episode up for today by telling you thank you so much for watching. And if you do remember the Starlets, if you owned a Toyota Starlet, please jot it in the comments. Always super fascinating to read your experiences and your thoughts of these different cars, so do comment on that. Starlet, all good stuff. We'll end by saying if you've not already become a subscriber, please consider subscribing. That is completely free, never be charged anything to become a subscriber, and it really keeps you in touch with the channel. We'll also end by showing you a 5-door Starlet in the back there, where it's talking about Toyota service. Looks brand spanking new though, so I'm sure this is obviously just getting inspected for its final delivery by the looks of it. But nice to see an actual one that's going to just about becoming a new car for some lucky person. But thank you so much for watching today. If you've not become a member, please have a look at the channel, and you actually see the episodes a little bit earlier if you are a member. And then I'll start making little smaller episodes for those members, because I have to give you guys something, because if it wasn't for you, I don't think the channel would actually last, because you don't get very much from YouTube, and that really does keep you going. But thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Please do take care. We'll see you very soon. All the best, and goodbye.